The more we can produce, the more we can build with the money we've got. I do think that there is an element of effort and hustle that you do have to have. Like, I'm never going to be one of the people who's like, soft life era, like, you're just going to make $1 million. Like, it's going to be fine, sister. Just manifest your way.
It's not real.
So if you don't want to work hard, then like you should not be an entrepreneur. You should stay a W-2 employee or go find a job. You've got to be able to have enough in place that you can slow down, change. If you can't afford to slow down, disrupt your environment. So at least you have peace outside of work.
Hello, and welcome back to Call Her Creator podcast. I am so pumped for today's guest. She is someone who has built her career by seeing where the world is headed before everyone else did. She is the founder and CEO of Blavity Inc., CEO of AfroTech, a best-selling author. She's an investor, and she's one of the leading voices helping entrepreneurs and companies navigate AI, the future of work, and what it actually takes to stay relevant in a rapidly changing world. But what fascinates me most about Morgan isn't about really what she's built. It's that she's consistently evolved before the rest of the world caught up. So today we're talking about something I think every creator, entrepreneur needs to hear. The next version of you needs different skills than the current one. So Morgan, welcome to Call Her Creator.
Thanks, Katelyn, for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. I've just been stalking you, doing all the things. And one thing I'm really bad at is like, I research trends all the time, but it takes me a little bit to pop on them. And it sounds like you are like ahead of, like you're almost making the trends before they even happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an entrepreneurial mindset in terms of like always prioritizing what's happening next and making sure that I'm equipped, my team's equipped, and we got to ride the wave, you know? So if you can see the wave coming, you should get on it.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So before we get into where we're headed, because I definitely want to talk about all that, I actually want to go back for a second. I like to give our listeners a little bit of cliff notes of who you are and, what you've built. So you've built multiple companies by seeing opportunities before most people did. Was that always like how you were wired as a little girl? Like, take us back to who Morgan was before all this and how she got to where she is now.
Yeah, I started my career working in Silicon Valley. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, so I'm a Midwesterner. Not necessarily the most innovative place in the world, but one thing that people in the Midwest know how to do is work. We are hard workers. We will like grit through it and bounce back. And I think that mentality is something that I brought with me to the Bay Area when I was first working in tech. And when you mix hard work and kind of like by any means necessary, plus the think big, build for millions and billions of people, try to change the world with your technology, you combine those two, you're pretty much unstoppable. Because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship, you're going to have ebbs and flows. You're going to be up, you're going to be down. The market's going to change. Like those are pretty much guarantees. And so you have to be resilient and you have to figure out how you're going to write your own rule book on how you're going to proceed through those ups and downs. So I started in Silicon Valley, worked there for a few years, and then started Blavity out of my apartment in downtown San Francisco. Bootstrapped a bit for my first few months. We kind of grew pretty quickly. We hit our 1 million monthly unique visitors within like 6 to 9 months of launching the business. So then it became expensive. And so from there, we grew. And I raised venture funding. I've raised over $12 million. We are fully remote now. We've been in business for over 12 years. So this was a long time ago.
Wow.
And we've acquired businesses. I've bought 2 businesses, 3 businesses actually. We've had $1 million wins and $1 million losses. So I've lived it all.
Were your parents entrepreneurs?
No, not at all.
Okay, then where does this come from?
I think they were entrepreneurial, but they were not entrepreneurs. My dad's a doctor, but he's a research doctor. So he was always, working on grants from the NIH. And so he was an underdog in the field that he chose to do research and be a practitioner in. And my mom's a stay-at-home mom, so she was really invested in making me and my brother's dreams come true, whatever that was, and making sure that we had as much opportunity as possible and keeping us balanced.
Wow, I love that. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs become entrepreneurs because they face, like, so much, like their parents didn't make a lot of money and they wanted to, but it sounds like you guys, like, if your dad was a doctor, you guys were taken care of, right?
Yeah, we were fine. I mean, we were middle class St. Louis
Okay.
suburbs, you know? But I think the thing that was entrepreneurial about how I grew up was that my parents were always advocating for
Okay.
Black patient populations. So my
Ooh,
dad's a hematologist oncologist, which is for sickle cell disease is his main specialty, which is an underserved community with chronic disease and, you know, they're ignored in the ER when they go in. So I was entrepreneurship was a way to solve a problem,
I love it.
in the same way that building Blavity is a solution to a problem that I saw in the marketplace. So you know, people call me activist, you can call me an entrepreneur, you can call me whatever you want. But at the end of the day, my goal was to solve a problem, and I just chose to do it from a for-profit lens
Yeah.
than a nonprofit lens.
Yeah, and you said you had your mom, like, pushing you every step of the way, like, she wanted the very best for you. I just like to have that as our,
Yeah,
our groundwork just because I think it's so important, like, our upbringing is so important in our story, and then as moms too, like, I wanna make sure I'm setting my children up for success too, so it sounds like your mom did a good job of pushing you guys for
10
ev
out of 10 mom and
Ugh,
dad, frankly. They were a good team. They were childhood sweethearts. So they were organized. They were an organized plan.
I love that, I love that. Okay, so you have a book, Rewrite Your Rules. And I think that there are a lot of women living by rules that we did not consciously choose to make. What's one rule you had to unlearn before your life and your business really took off?
My number one rule that I had to unlearn was that if you work hard and you're the best, you're not necessarily going to win. And again, coming from the Midwest, that's how I was trained. Coming from a Black family, that's how I was trained. And when I got into Silicon Valley, I said, oh, the mediocre white man is thriving here. He's not the best. He's not even working his ass off. Why is he making it to the top? And everybody else is like struggling for relevance or visibility in these workplaces. And I made a decision to opt out of that corporate grind and to bet on myself. And I think that if I hadn't followed the rules that were given to me, I would have just brute forced my way through corporate, hoping, praying that at some point someone's going to tap me on the shoulder for the opportunity that I felt like I deserved. So that was definitely the one of the early rules I had to unlearn.
I love that. Something that I teach my students and people listening to the podcast too is like, I'm really big on visibility and using social media to get yourself out there, especially if you don't have the resources or like the network that everybody else has. And something I always say is that there are people that are way less qualified than you. They probably suck compared to what you can do, but like they're getting these opportunities and all that because they're willing to be seen, which what you explain is a little different because it comes to like you said the mediocre white man. It's so true, and it's even with like women too. It's like the men actors getting paid way more than the women.
Yeah, it's all over the place. The patriarchy is real,
It's so
regardless of the industry. So we have to fight harder, for that visibility, or we have to say we're going to opt out and build something different. And being a creator, being an online person who builds online technology and the digital landscape has been amazing for giving more women an opportunity to build their own universe, regardless of what the rules are.
I love that. Next question I had for you. I think a lot of us ambitious women have been sold the idea that success has to come at the expense of their peace, right? So,
hmm
at what point did you realize, I mean, you have all of these incredible companies. What point did you realize working harder wasn't actually the answer for you anymore? Like, how did you finally get out of that? Because I know us entrepreneurs, we hustle, 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 and then we're like, this is not worth my health or my stress. So, like, talk us through that.
Yeah, when I first started my business, I mean, I had no responsibilities. I was 24. It was just me, my homies from college, and like a whiteboard. So we were able to do a lot that was not sustainable. We were able to like really take a ton of risk and put all the time in, sleep, eat, breathe, Blavity. And sometimes you need to put that like you need an intense moment of time. There's a lot of people on the internet that are like, get rich quick and you don't have to work. AI's gonna make you all the money. Just set it up. And it's like, no, 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 no. No matter what, you're gonna have to put some time in. And the question is, when do you get off the hamster wheel? When is enough enough? When does more time not equal more results? And that, I think, is a challenging balance or decision for people to make. And then it's when you know that you're at that point where more time doesn't equal more results, then what does equal more results? Like, what are those actions or those people or those teams or that brand or that content engine that you need to have to get you to the next level if you have maxed out the amount of hours that you can put into this? And I think it took me a little bit too long to realize that I had reached that threshold, but the signs are obvious now in hindsight, right? I was exhausted. I hated going to work every day. I literally had to meditate for like an hour before I would walk into the office because I was just like so fried. My nervous system was fried. I was a terrible boss. I was just terrible, terrible boss. Like, deserved all the negative feedback that I got because I had not transitioned from being like a founder to being a CEO, where we had multi-million-dollar clients. We had org charts. People needed HR. We needed all types of growing up of becoming a company, especially at that time where that was the only pathway for a Silicon Valley backed company. Was like, you go, you scale, you hire the people, you run the race. That was a really rough period for me. And then I think eventually I got to the point where my board and I were like, this isn't working. The company culture is trash. Like, you have to change this. And I got an executive coach. I asked for feedback from my co-founders. I write about this in the book.
Okay.
And my whole being had to go back to like, okay, you have to be okay, because it comes from the top. So I started working out, getting my health back together. You know, you get that founder 15, you're
Yeah,
real
you're
fluffy, real inflamed. I got it together. Like, I dyed my hair blonde. Like, I did all types of crazy stuff. But I
so
really needed to just change like my whole energy. And then eventually I decided I didn't want to raise venture funding anymore. So I stopped raising venture funding and took myself off of that pathway and turned our focus to becoming a profitable company, which was a different muscle that I had to learn. But we haven't raised since 2018 or 2019. We've been able to operate on, our free cash flow through acquisitions, through building, through scaling. Just as hard, different hard, but at least we have more control.
yeah, wow. Speaking of all, like last year, so I've had my agency. I built my agency 5 years ago, but last year I was hustling so much to where like I started getting these skin rashes. I was really, really tired. I was having stomach issues. Turns out I had Hashimoto's.
Mm,
And they say it's from like years of trauma trapped in your body, but I think
mm-hmm,
also entrepreneurship brought that out of me because it's just like I had a scarcity mindset in the beginning, like, "Oh my god, if I don't do this, I'll lose it all tomorrow." Did you ever
mm-hmm.
have is that an entre
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I do think I was racing against time. We had a fixed amount of money in the bank. So it was like, the more we can produce, the more we can build with the money we've got. Like, I do think that there is an element of effort and hustle that you do have to have. Like, I'm never going to be one of the people who's like, soft life era, like, you're just going to make $1 million. Like, it's going to
Oh,
be fine, sister. Just manifest your way.
it's not real.
No, I'm like, that is bullshit. And they're just trying to get you to buy their little course. So don't do it. Okay.
Ugh,
So if you don't want to work hard, and then like, you should not be an entrepreneur. You should stay a W-2 employee or go find a job. Like, go figure it out. Yeah. I think that your body always will tell you though, when you've hit your threshold. Right. And so
it will.
you've got to be able to have enough in place that you can slow down, change, move places. I mean, I moved to the beach for like a year.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, left downtown LA, moved to Hermosa Beach so that I could still do what I need to do, but at least at the end of the day, I'm looking at a sunset, you
Yeah,
know? So you gotta disrupt your flow. And I would encourage anyone who's listening or watching to this, like, if you can't afford to slow down, disrupt your environment. So at least you have peace outside of work.
can I ask you you have children, right? I think I read that your mom.
2 babies,
Okay,
yes.
how old are they?
9 months and 2.5 years.
Shut your mouth. Oh my god. Bless
Yeah.
you for taking this podcast
Oh
call.
my gosh, girl,
Okay,
I'm back. I'm back at work. We're working.
okay. Um, did your mindset change when you had children?
I did not. I was children optional, I would say.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm not having kids unless I have the things set up in a way that I can raise children the way I want to raise children. So I moved. So I used to live in LA. I live in Nashville now. I'm 10 minutes
Oh,
from my parents. So,
Wow.
like, my mom is basically, like, their co-parent, like,
Oh,
that is their second mom, you know?
I love that.
But I would not have been able to live this life in this capacity if I did not make that choice. Moving from LA
Mm,
to Tennessee for someone with a company at my scale was like a crazy decision outside looking in. People were like, "Wait, where do you live?" Even when I meet people today, Katelyn, people are like, "Oh, you live in New York? Oh, you live in LA?" I'm like, "I live in Nashville." They're like, "Girl, what?"
yeah, right? I live in a
So
very small town, just so you know.
where do you live?
I'm close to Orlando, but I'm in a town called Sebring. And let me just preface this. People come here to retire, Morgan.
That's right.
Ew. Like, there ain't nothing here. So if I ever want to do anything, I have to drive like 2 hours to Orlando or Tampa and then get on a plane if I really wanna, like, go to cool networking events or
Right.
something. Miami's 3 hours away. Do you feel like you moving from California to Tennessee, did it derail anything for you, or you just it's fine, you've kept
It
everything
did. It definitely did. I mean, I definitely had a trade-off of I miss things, or the decision-making calculus of, like, should I go to this would have been an easy yes, and now it's like, ooh, flight there, flight back, time zone change, the health part of it, so I think the question is, if I cut out 50% of the activity that I was doing, did it actually change anything for me? And I
Mm,
think the answer is like, no. Like half that stuff was irrelevant anyways. Like it was an ego booster. You felt obligated. You wanted the picture. Like you wanted to get the red carpet thing. Like you wanted to feel like you were in the mix. But
yes.
in terms of the work and my money, like I'm making more money than ever. Like I'm definitely making more money. In some ways I have to focus because I'm at my house. So I don't have distractions taking me away from work. I am available. I am locked in. I'm not sitting in traffic. I'm not, going to events I don't need to be at. I'm well rested and I'm present in my day to day.
Okay, I needed to hear you say that.
Yeah,
There's
I've got to.
an event in, like, August that I'm not going to because 'cause I've been traveling so much, I have kids, you just
How old
said
are your kids?
there's six-year-old girl and then a 10-year-old boy.
So you're in it. School is coming up.
Girl, I'm in the thick of it, but I
Yeah.
have all these girlfriends texting me, "Are you coming to the event? Are you coming?" And I'm getting FOMO thinking, like, "I'm not gonna be in the pictures, I'm not gonna be by
Hmm.
but that's an ego thing.
It
That
is
is
an ego
not
thing.
me money, like, I need to just I'm glad I heard
I
you
mean, being at events can make you money, but
true.
I do think that there's like intense moments of visibility. And so I will I will go through moments of for the next 3 months, we are locked in. And I will tell my husband, like, we will agree together that mommy's on the road. Okay. So and I will set up the help that I need at home to make sure everybody else is taken care of. The chef is on board, the nanny is informed, the backup team, both families know that they might need to come in and support. Like, so we will do intense moments of visibility where I will go to everything. You get the content, you get the photos, you get the network. Yeah, you should do this. Anyone who's watching this, I call this a sprint. So it's a Silicon Valley agile term where you go hard on one goal and then you're done.
Ooh, I like
But the momentum carries you.
intense moments of visibility, sprint. Okay, I like that, we're gonna coin that.
Yeah, you should do it.
I'm going
People should see it. People will be like, wow, I'm really seeing Katelyn everywhere right now. Yes, yes, you are.
well, right now, it's like I'm just trying to be seen all the time because
Hmm.
social media marketing, like, how many times can I post a day? But I don't need to be doing that, girlfriend. I don't need to
Mm-mm.
be running myself dry all the time.
Nope.
Okay, let's talk about something that everyone wants to talk about, which is AI, your thing.
Sure.
Everyone's talking about AI is gonna replace my job, blah, blah, blah. What's one thing every entrepreneur should absolutely start using AI for? And what's
Mm.
one thing you think AI will never be able to replace?
Every entrepreneur should be using AI to have it prep you for your next day.
Right.
So, not everyone's able to afford a personal assistant, a virtual assistant, and an executive assistant, or a chief of staff. But a lot of what an executive assistant does is a repeatable task that and take away some of the mental load of certain things. So, I used to have a virtual assistant. She's still with me today. Her name is Beth. She's fantastic. But she used to look at my schedule the day before and send me all the information that I needed. She would do all the research, everybody's LinkedIn. She'd coordinate with anyone on my team for any notes from, if I'm doing like a sales call, giving Morgan all the context. Like Like she would just make sure that I had everything. She'd send me the brief, and then she would attach into my calendar for every meeting the context for every meeting. So that even for something like this, which I actually think they might have, Beth, you probably did work with Beth on this, where she sent me the brief of the
I did.
questions,
Yes.
right? So that's like an example of where a human is still doing that part. It would be hard for you to talk to my ChatGPT, right?
Right.
But for a lot of things, there is context that already exists. And so setting up that briefing for you is a game changer, and it kind of makes you the next level of an operator. Good news is that ChatGPT and Claude, they already have this pre-built for you. They have pre-built kind of patterns and skills and schedules so that you can get this brief sent to you every night or every morning. And it's great. I think the next thing is, in terms of things that you won't be able to replace with AI, is that human interaction. I mean, it's like the exact same thing. Like there's a judgment that comes with, hey, you're about to sit down and have this conversation. Here's your prep notes and a conversation with you, Katelyn, to say, oh, here's some things Morgan's working on right now.
Yes.
I'm sure I could get an agent to do that for me, but I don't want to worry about it being accurate.
Yeah.
And so those are still human tasks.
That's so true. And like, just to give everybody transparency too, me prepping for this podcast, I use ChatGPT, like, tell me the best thing about Morgan. What do we have in common? Blah, 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 to help me come up with our questions. But then Beth, I think it was who gave me the real life stats, accuracy,
Right.
all the things. And then guess what? I changed the questions up this morning after I got that from Beth. So
That's right. Now that means I need to do some AI search engine optimization
it
and
was
update my Wikipedia.
yeah, it was still great, but I think chat focused more on like all of your accomplishments and AI and
Yeah.
that, whereas
Yeah.
Beth was like, "Hey, she has children. Hey, she just launched this book." Like there was just more personalized touches
That's right.
that Google probably might not know about you right now. So,
Right.
but
That's
yes,
great.
I think all of us need to work on our ChatGPT search, whatever it is,
Yeah. It's called
whatever.
AEO.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
wait, can you tell me more about that? Are you doing that?
Yeah, so just like SEO is search engine optimization, this is agent engine optimization. So you are optimizing the output that ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude is giving to people who might be searching for you in the same way that they might be Googling for you. That's pulling from all different sources on the internet. How
Mhm.
ChatGPT pulls their sources is a little bit wider than what Google is doing.
Okay.
And there are ways to influence what ChatGPT will say about you. So if you want people to say, for example, we're talking about AfroTech, our big tech conference in November, I might want anyone who's searching, where are the best professional tech conferences to go to if you're interested in AI? I might want to train ChatGPT to put AfroTech at the top of that list, whether it's true or not.
It's true.
It's true, but so
How do you
you can do that.
can you give us some tips for
Oh,
people
yeah.
doing that?
Number one, make sure that all of your websites that you own include the keywords that you want people to be searching for you to be turning up in. So if you go to afrotechconference.com and I want that result, I would want to make sure that that type of phrase was included everywhere. One of the things AI is not good at is knowing whether something is true or false if they have enough sources that are triangulating that piece of information. So if they can see 10 places that you are the number one AI speaker in the world, then they're going to think you're the number one AI speaker in the world, whether it's true or not.
Right. Okay, girls and boys too. We get some boys on here too. That's very good information. Would you tell too, like for me, for example, we've
Mhm.
got blogs. Our blogging still helping all of that, right?
Blog absolutely helps. I just restarted my blog for WorkSmart Advisor, which is like my coaching and advising program. So
Ooh,
on WorkSmart Advisor, I have a blog and it has like 100 articles on it. I would have never done that, but I'm doing it now because I want to make sure we're showing up properly when people are searching.
right.
So yeah, old school blogs work. Reddit is a new source that people are parsing and searching for information more. So making sure your company is present on Reddit. And actually Google and TikTok are now letting like creators have little creator profiles. So making sure that you are just like dotting your T's and crossing your I's and making sure that your information is accurate everywhere, that little stuff goes a long way.
I love that. Writing all this down.
Yeah.
Because people forget. I know for this last year, I've kind of been like, blogging's dead at this point. I'm not going to keep doing it. But no, like that
It's
is what
back.
chat and AI and all that is reading. So don't sleep on blogging.
That's right.
Okay. If someone owns a small business or is building a personal brand, what's the one skill they should start developing today that
Mm.
will still matter 10 years from now? Because you're the girl that can see in the future.
It'll matter in 10 years from now. For an entrepreneur, someone who's building a business, it's still probably hiring, like learning how to hire effectively and learning how to write job descriptions and understand what the role is. The
Mm,
question is, are you hiring a human or are you hiring a robot?
mm,
We don't know. But
real.
in the meantime, you need to get clear about what is the work to be done. Is this a job that is one person, two people? What are the levels? What's the workflow? So really understanding like how work moves behind your business, and the impact that that work has on your bottom line or your top line. That is a skill that's going to be needed regardless of whether your agentic workforce is, bots or if it is a human being. You need to understand how everything fits together.
When would you there's some people out there that are, like, holding off on hiring because they think they need to be making more money. Like, is there something you keep in place for your own businesses to where you're like, "Okay, it's time to hire for this?"
Yeah, so I have 3 companies, right? I have AfroTech, Blavity, and then I have DeBaun and Co., which is the business of me. And that's like speaking engagements, brand deals, books, etc., multi six figures, probably $1 million plus at this point in that business. And it's just me and my chief of staff. I've had employees for that business, but like this is a moment where there are more opportunities for the DeBaun and Co. business than I have personally the capacity or the desire,
Yeah.
frankly, to put in the work to grow and scale that business. Like, for example, one of our priorities is a YouTube channel now because TikTok has been playing your girl. And I'm tired of posting these little TikToks every day for
Yeah.
very little results. And I think if I had spent the same effort that I put into TikTok on YouTube, I would be so much. Are you the same way? I would be so much further along. I'm pissed off at myself.
Side note,
Yeah.
I do social media. We've been taking so I'm the opposite. I do Instagram instead of TikTok.
Okay.
But what we were doing is we were taking all of my videos from Instagram and repurposing them on YouTube as shorts.
Mm-hmm.
It's helped me get over 1 million views, but I agree with you 1000%. We need to start doing that long form. It's going to work out for us in the end. And I just interviewed Millie. Modern Millie is her.
Love her.
She's great.
She's great.
She like
She's killing it.
minimum 10 grand for a video.
I know. I watched your video. It was good. Everyone listening to this or watching this needs to go watch that episode because first of all, Millie's so transparent, right?
Oh, I
Like
love her.
$3,000 for a mention, 10,000 for a solo. I was like, drop the number, sister. We appreciate that
I love
transparency.
that. Yeah.
We do. So I was sitting next to a guy this last weekend. He's got over 600,000 subscribers on YouTube. He makes over $100,000 a month on YouTube. I
Girl.
was shook. I was like, show me your dashboard.
Are you
Show me.
are you hiring a dedicated YouTube person to help you
That's
grow
what I
it?
did.
Yeah.
So I hired a dedicated YouTube editor because I can chit chat. Like I can have a conversation. It doesn't like even this video. We should collab this video on YouTube
Oh,
when you
we will.
post it. Like it's important that for me, I'm like, I can do the thing, but I know I'm not going to sit and edit this video. Like absolutely not. Right. So I hired an editor. I have a TikTok and Reels editor as well. They're different editors so that I can have the volume. I'm not restricted by their ability to get the videos done quickly. So I'm like, I'm all in, and I will spend $10,000 to $15,000 just to ramp up that momentum to do this sprint to get a growth hit and to keep building. And I'm confident I'm going to make that money back.
Yes. No, 1000%. I love that. And I love how transparent you are too about what you're spending for that. You've built really incredible companies. Like, I'm taken away by what you've built and what you have on all of your plate. When it comes to personal branding,
Mhm.
where do you think creators or just business owners go wrong when it comes to their personal brand?
Ooh, such a good question. I think people want to look really cool. I think people like are really concerned with looking,
Perfect.
fitting in to the aesthetic. And when I say aesthetic, whatever comes to mind is what I'm talking about,
Yep.
for you. And I think that I too have been like, oh, if I could only like just be so cool like Hannah Brofman, or like, oh, if I could be like so like direct and cool like Cody Sanchez. Like And it's like, no, 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 no. My best content, my most engaged content is just like me and my essence,
Uh-huh.
and not trying to be like anybody else.
Mhm.
And I think that from a growth perspective, the consistency of showing up, and people give this advice all the time, but like talking to people and in a way that you are natural, in a way that you're talking to a friend,
Yes.
that is going to grow. So like even on my YouTube channel, like I'm kind of like, I'm just going to show up. Like I show up into meetings and I'm going to walk you through a workflow like I would walk an employee through a workflow. And it's not going to be for everybody. Some people are going to say, girl, get a better camera. But this is what it is. Either you're going to like it or you're not.
I love that, and it's so true, and from a strategist point of view too, who looks at videos all the time,
Yeah.
the perfectly packaged is not what's hitting anymore for people anyways. They wanna see you in your car, they wanna hear how you just lost your job and now the
Yeah.
next 30 days you gotta go find a new one, like, I think we were all getting into that period where we were comparing ourselves all the time, and so everyone had to be perfect, but now it's like, how messy can you be
Yeah. But
actually?
I will say, caveat, it depends on what you want your monetization to be. So, like,
Yes.
I have both polished videos and I have like regular me in the car videos.
Mhm.
I get a ton of brand deals. And when I get the briefs, they usually have gone through my content and screenshotted it and been like, we want content like this. They pick the polished video every time.
Really?
Every time. They don't want messy Morgan.
Yeah.
They want she's in her kitchen, but the lighting is good.
Yes, yes, yeah, so I think there's definitely a good 50-50 there.
Mhm.
I like that suggestion. Was there a moment when you realized in any of your companies, since you have so many, that you were the bottleneck, and, like, what did you do when that okay, me too. What'd you
Girl,
do?
I'm the bottleneck. I'm the bottleneck right now. I was a bottleneck on videos. I mean, just going back to the other example, I probably got 15, 20 videos not edited, right? And I've got videos saved in different folders and all different types of stuff because it's easy to get in front of a camera and have a conversation. It's not easy to edit it and clip it down and add the B-roll and da 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 da. I'm like, girl, I ain't got time for that. So
Yeah,
it just sits there. So I was blocking my own ability to produce and more than what I actually was capable of. At AfroTech, I think that we have a sales team at AfroTech. So I think from a revenue perspective, there were times where I felt like our clients really needed or wanted to talk to me. And they would always make these requests of like, okay, what does Morgan think? Can I get Morgan on the phone? And I
yeah.
had to tell my team no, and they hated me. My team used to think I was such a curmudgeon. They were like, "She don't wanna get on the phone. She don't wanna, speak to their ERG. She don't wanna da 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 da." And I'm like, "But if it's dependent on me to make a sale, then we will not hit these revenue targets."
Oh, girl. This is the same okay, this is must be across the board because it's the same for me too, and
Yeah.
sometimes Ari will be like, "Well, they wanna talk to you. Can you get on this next call?" And I'm like, "Guess what? I had to do that with one of our clients 4 calls because they kept wanting me to
They're
get on."
and then they're attached. Then they're attached to you, and so when there's a problem, they're coming to you. They're bypassing the whole team,
Yep.
and they're coming to you, and you're like, "I don't have any of this." I'll be like, "I don't have any of this context, girl. You do not want me. I promise."
That's what I'm gonna start saying, "You do not want." I
You
try so
do not
hard,
want
and
me.
one thing I'll tell you guys listening to, just social media girly,
Yeah.
what I've tried to do is we now have a dedicated agency Instagram page, and I'm like, "Y'all be in it." They'll be like, "Come be in this row with me." I'm like, "Nope, I need it to just be you guys because y'all are the team.
Mhm.
We're the ones that are making this amazing content. Yes, you learn from me, but it's you." And so I try to make sure I talk about them as much as possible because
That's real.
I can't make this company rely on me, especially if I wanna sell it one day, like.
That's right. Yep, absolutely. And I think it's called key person risk, right? Like that is when a private equity firm is evaluating should we buy this business or another company, how much key person risk is there? And
Mm,
in the age of creators, the key person risk is crazy because it's tied to that person's face. Even
yes.
like a beauty founder. Let's say you're a beauty founder, you had a huge YouTube channel or a huge TikTok and you created a product, you're never going to sell that product
Ooh,
because it's tied to your face. Like,
right.
you're never gonna sell the company. Sorry, you'll sell the product, but you're not gonna sell the company to somebody else, or you're coming with it. Like Rode, Haley
I
Bieber
was
is
just
working.
about to say that's the biggest example right there.
Like, how will Rode be successful if Haley's not Haley? And you can even see with Skims, Kim and them are not in front of the camera like that anymore. Emma is.
You're so right. Okay, this is really good. This is good stuff for y'all listening.
I
And this
got you,
leads to
Caitlin.
the next question too.
Yeah.
There's women out there, they know they're capable of more, but they keep waiting until they feel ready. So, has there ever been a season where you had absolutely no idea what you were doing, but you just had to move anyways because you knew if you didn't make the move, it wasn't gonna happen?
Yeah, I feel like that happens to me often.
All the time?
Yeah. I mean, I think right now we're in a huge disruption of work. We're in a huge disruption of how people consume content. I
Mhm.
run a media company, right? Like Blavity Media is a .com with websites and editors and writers. Nobody is reading .coms anymore. So we have to disrupt ourselves. And I waited too long. I waited way too long to disrupt ourselves. I was loyal to the journalism, background. I was loyal to wanting this to believe that this wasn't what was happening. And I could have seen the writing on the wall, but it was so much friction to shut down a brand and to let people go. Like, I don't want to do that. I like my employees. I like our contractors. I like the work that we do. And I definitely held on for too long. And the blowback that we got for we shut down one of our brands called 2190. It was a women's brand. I trended on social media. The Black community was all upset. Like, it was a whole thing. And I was going to get that blowback regardless. When we shut it down, I should have shut it down a year prior.
Sooner.
So, but I didn't want to face the reality,
Mhm.
because it sucks.
Yeah.
And it sucks for everybody. And I think that that's why entrepreneurship really is a mental game. Like, it really is at the leadership level, a mindset that you have to be able to cultivate a muscle. And if you need to hire an advisor, or you need to hire an agency, or you need to hire an executive coach or a therapist or a pastor, get your team in order to help you make it through these things. And I have an executive coach. I've had her for many years, Emma. She's fantastic. And Emma will be like, "We talked about this last year." And I'm like, "Girl, you right." And I'm still here.
I heard, Lindsay Schwartz, she's Powerhouse Women, I don't know if you've heard her, but she mentioned something, entrepreneurship has really more so than building a business, it's personal development at the end of.
Mhm.
And I feel that so deeply in my bones, like, before I started my business, I was honestly the opposite of the person I am now. It's made me more confident, it's made me go after things that I never would have gone after. It's also been, like, some punches to the throat too,
Mhm.
bad deals, and, like, I got sued one time. Like, there's so many things that
Brutal.
have happened in entrepreneurship that I don't know. I just feel like it's such it's just wild how it changes you as a person because it just goes so deep, you know?
Yeah. And you're your boss. You're the CEO.
Yeah.
So if it's good or bad, it's on you regardless.
Regardless, you get all the flack. So, you've built all these companies also while navigating motherhood and a family. Has your definition of success changed over the years? What does having it all actually mean to you today?
Definitely. I definitely used to be obsessed with, like, the number in my bank account, like, chasing the money. And I think that ironically, I still make a lot of money, but when I stop chasing, like, a number in the bank account, like, "Okay, I need to have X amount of money by the time I'm 30 or X amount of, a house by XYZ," like, I think that when I let go of some of those things,
Mm.
I was able to be more myself. I mean, truly, I'm on just a journey of being more myself and figuring out who she is, and the more I've allowed myself and created an environment for me to be more myself, the more I've been able to be unique in this world and be unique in the marketplace and build businesses that are different. And I think that for any woman who's trying to figure it out, I mean, I didn't even know if I was going to get married. Like, I met my husband here in Nashville. So, yeah, I know, crazy in real life at a bar. Like,
I love
what?
I love that.
You know? And he's everything, but he wouldn't have been the person I would have picked 7 years ago, 10 years ago. Well, we've been together for a long time. So 10 years ago, he would not have been the person, but he is so perfect for me because he creates space for me to be me before I even really know what that looks like.
Mhm.
And I think that, again, like, creating more space for you to be in your flow, to be in your creativity, to have hobbies, to live a full, rich, juicy life, like, that is just as important as making money.
I think that comes down to taking the pressure off yourself too. Like you mentioned, when you weren't like chasing that number, things would come, and I'm assuming that's probably because you let yourself have the space. What does your daily routine look like?
Well, it's a little chaotic right now because of the kids. So it's not what it used to be, but I wake up, check the monitor to see if the baby's still asleep. God willing, she is. And so if I have a little time to myself, I usually every other day I work out or my husband works out. So, we kind of switch in the morning. But yeah, it's simple. I like chill on my phone, go to my laptop. I'll get like a coding session in to build different things, YouTube. Like, I use my morning time as personal development time, walk around in my garden, like, whatever, and then I'm making breakfast. I do kind of the morning routine for the kids, so I make the breakfast and stuff. Our nanny gets there at 8:30, so
Right.
once she hits the door, then I'm straight into work, so that's either meetings with clients, the team.
Do you
I'm
drink
usually
caffeine, coffee?
Yeah, coffee or matcha,
Okay.
but I never really finish it. It's more of a ritual than it is,
Yeah,
actually for the caffeine itself.
yeah.
Um I'll even have half calf, little
Okay.
Nespresso things. So, yeah, I'm pretty locked in. I have breakfast, I eat, I drink, I have my time, and then I like to get into work pretty quickly because morning is my most productive time, and then
Mhm.
I'm done working by, like, 4:30. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kinda my brain does not function after 4:30, so I do kids' family stuff from 4:30 to 7, bedtime, and then I might get back online, for an hour or 2 from 7 to 9, and then I'm in bed. I'm done.
Does your husband work in your companies, or does he do his own thing?
He has his own company. He's also an entrepreneur. We live a crazy life.
Oh my
So,
god.
yeah, he's full-time entrepreneur. He has a video production company, does
Okay.
productions all over the country, so he travels a lot for work as well. Like, even this morning, he was out at, like, 6 o'clock at a shoot that they had downtown Nashville. So, the blessing is that we're really flexible, so we can say, "We're just gonna go to Europe for 2 weeks," and we just do it.
Yeah. Same with my husband's an entrepreneur too, so it has been really nice to have that flexibility.
Yeah.
Okay. Final question. Imagine that there's a woman listening to this right now. She knows that she is meant for more, but she is so scared to take that leap because fear just keeps getting in the way. What is one thing you'd want to tell her to push her off that bridge a little bit?
Making money changes your life. The ability to make money gives you freedom because you will always be your own determinant of your success if you learn the skill of how to make money.
Mm,
You don't always have to do it, but knowing that you can means that you can do whatever you want. You don't have to stay in that relationship if you don't want to. You don't have to stay at that job if you don't want to. You don't have to live in the city if you don't want to. You can do whatever you want if you develop the skill of learning how to make money.
mm. That means so much to me, and I think that's why I love entrepreneurs so much because it's given me so much freedom. Like when I was younger, my parent middle class,
Yeah.
my parents never gave me shit.
Mhm.
So it was I was working at 13 years old, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
But
I had a job at 16. I was right there with you.
yeah, the girl
Toys R Us.
yeah, but the girl I am now who makes very good money and has these companies, it's just so nice to know that no one can take anything away from me, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm not stuck because I have that financial freedom to get and I never want people to be like, "Dang, all Caitlyn cares about is money these days," but it's not the money because I'm not over here driving all the fancy cars and all these things. I love my car, but it's just that freedom that no one can take. I guess no one can take it from me, like, if
It's
something
a power. It's just it is your power and your ability to make your own decisions. And your decision might be that you want that fancy car, or your decision might be you wanna buy some land and live on a ranch and have some chickens and opt out.
I want both.
I want both.
I mean, you moving to Nashville, I'm like, I wanna churn butter and I want a horse, but I also wanna make really good money and do what I wanna do.
But you can do both
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's so true. Gosh, Morgan, thank you so much for this conversation. It was really enlightening, and you also, like, made me feel a little better about some of the things that I'm doing, and I love the AEO talk.
Mhm.
That's something that really was I was writing down notes. I hope you guys too were too whenever you were listening to this. But okay, say people want to work with you or they liked something you said. What is the best way to connect with you? What about your book? Tell us all the things.
Yeah, so if you are an entrepreneur and you want to scale your business, you can join Work Smart. It's a monthly call. We do live coaching, etc. And then, of course, I give you all my prompts for anything that you need to build. I do tutorials, all this stuff, and I'm basically your little like accountability coach for learning how to grow and scale your business. If you are interested in taking classes on AI, you can join our AI Edge program through AfroTech. We work with tech companies to do those trainings. So we work with Google to talk about Gemini. We work with OpenAI to talk about ChatGPT, Perplexity to talk about Perplexity. So it's a great place to be in a community of learning around AI. And then my book, if you want to hear my story, like Black girl St. Louis to Silicon Valley to chaos, I've lived a lot of life in my little years, and I wrote out a framework for how people can figure out what their own rules are. So you can check out my book, Rewrite Your Rules.
I love that. I love it. I love it. Thank you so, so much. Guys, Morgan, this is her. This is her. She's magical. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you all next week.